you. Like, this is the kind of guy who will sit across the table from you and be like, that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. You should kill yourself. And then, but then suddenly at the end of the night, you're like, Jeffy, buddy, old pal. I don't know how that happens. I can't explain. The same thing happened to me. As I was getting ready for tonight, I also did something which will tell you my level of autism. I made, much to Jeff's confusion, instead of just, practicing or writing a monologue or something, I made a web. You know, like in high school when you have to write essays and you can circle, and this middle circle I wrote, shit, that's funny. And on the little dingies, what do you call them? I'm an English teacher, I should know. What did I call them? I called them dingies when I taught high school. On each of the little dingies, I put things that I thought were funny. For example, the noises I hear from my brother's room. This is not the night for that, but I will. And if you know him, you know. White people. Sorry, y'all are ridiculous, and you know it. And then the one that is the reason, if you know me, you know that my husband is not here tonight. The reason he's not here is because I was like, oh, gold, all of my conquests, that's going to be the shit that's really funny. And he was like, well, I'm good. I don't need to hear that, but thank you very much. So it's actually pretty funny. I have been playing the game of 21, and I didn't even know it. You see, through my life, there have been 21 men, and I did not realize I was building toward 21 until around 18 or 19, and then I went, wait a second. And then I met my husband, and I was like, wait, if I stop now, I hit 21. Yes, let's fucking go. But I think the one I have to start with is, I like to tell my jokes in a very Tarantino-like way, which means that I'm going to hit you with an ending, and then you're going to see how it connects when we get back to the ending. So this is a man I call Contempt. I call him Contempt because I went on this date with this man. This was right after I broke up with my high school boyfriend, and let's all be honest, I was just trying to have sex that night. So I meet him at his house. Yes, his house. It was not his house. It was his mother's house. I was not allowed in. He was 22. Green flag. Awesome. 5 stars. He takes me to a baseball field where we sit in his back seat and he asks me to rub his bald head while he listened to Michael Jackson. And I thought to myself, this is a story. This is nice. This is a story. We got to talking. He says, I want to get to know you a little better. Tell me about yourself. I'm like, well, at the time, I'm a vegetarian. He goes, oh, that's cool. I'm a virgin. And I was like, things that start with V. Good. Okay, great. We're starting great. You know that I'm an educator. Love my letters. And he was like, so how would you feel about making out? And I'm like, I would not. But I'll keep rubbing your head if it keeps you quiet. Okay, great. So we go back to his house. The whole time I'm just white knuckling. This is fucking Danbury in the middle and 2 a.m. And I get back to his house and I ask him, hey, I need to use your bathroom. I live 45 minutes away. And he's like, actually, my mom said I couldn't bring a girl in. Where did you think this was going, sir? Did you think I would? Anyway, I ended up peeing myself on 91. My mother laughed at me for half an hour. And that was contempt. Because of the contempt, I felt the entire drive home with pee-soaked pants and car seat. Yeah, had fun. Another one of my favorites is this man that if you can call him a man. I'm a real romantic, so before I get, I like to make sure that I go out with you first. I want even something, right? So we go to Denny's. Because I want a grand slam before I get grand slam. So we're out at Denny's, and Okay? Weird in any circumstance, but if you know me, I'm like, he's an asshole. Next conversation. Keep telling him more details, and for some reason, he's weirdly fascinated with my dad. Like, he thought my dad sounded so cool. I guess because they're both fucking idiots. I don't know. But we go back to his place, and he has an Arnold movie marathon going in his apartment. And he doesn't stop it. We walk in, and I'm like, oh, you want to turn it off? He's like, no, it's good. Okay, great. So there I am 5 years later getting pounded to Arnold. A little girl walks in and she's just like, hey uncle, I wanted some water. He's like, yeah, just get it, you're fine. I'm just like, this is fine. Okay, this is fine. Apparently that's where we're at. I never talked to him again because I never talked to him again. But 2 weeks later, he did text me, ask how my dad was doing, and I thought that was really weird. And it's funny because Mike was talking and he said toe girl, and I just love, shout out to all the sluts in the room, raise your hand if you're a slut, hey-o, that's what I'm talking about. Or, a decommissioned slut, if you're no longer a slut, your slutting days are over. I am not that girl anymore. I sometimes wish I was, but I'm not that girl anymore. As I stare wistfully out the window with my loving husband, thinking about all of the ways and places I've been pounded. I scroll through my Rolodex of men, or what I call my Rolodex. Yeah. So, the funny thing I've noticed about all of us sluts, and we know this to be true, y'all don't, if I had sex with you, you don't have a name. You have a description. You have your snowflake. You have needle dick. You have contempt. You have my first high school boyfriend. We just call him this. Nope, we just call him this. Or if we want to use real words, we call him baby dick. But usually this is good enough to be like, oh my God, I saw today. Oh my God. Yeah, so I am so excited to be here. You guys having a good time? Oh my God. Yeah, that's the funny thing though. As I'm getting older, I am still staring wistfully out the window thinking about my days being a slut. And I miss it. But don't hear that as I don't love my husband. Hear that I love the chaos. I love the chaos of being like, ooh, what's gonna happen next? Who's this rando? What story am I gonna tell next? Because if you see someone doing something real crazy, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be real weird, but it's gonna be a good time. So, I think about the chaos that I used to have, and I wistfully think about that. Good times. Anybody here miss being a slut? Just me, all right. And that's the funny thing is, now that I'm in a committed relationship, I'm testing him all the time, waiting for him to fuck up. I'm always I'll run out of the house crying, be like, you don't love me, and he's like, Gene, Dorothy, we're going to talk about this. Well, no, you're supposed to call me a stupid bitch or whatever immature men do. And you're gonna sit here and bring me a beer and a blanket and put on hairspray. Why would you do that? You know that's gonna make me feel better. Damn it. I don't know what to do with this happy, cozy relationship. It's something I'm working on. But that is my time, and I am so happy to be able to share the night with you. I will be signing beers for the rest of the night, provided you get me a beer.
Jeanie, I literally got a beer.
All right. Sign it. Sluts, man. Gotta love them. My fiance tries to turn me into a slut. Yeah. Not in like, it is a weird way. I'll come up with like a new hobby, and she'll just start asking me like questions. If you want to know what someone thinks of you, tell them you started a new hobby, and then listen to the questions they ask. I started jujitsu because I don't want to die in a hand-to-hand combat way. And she started asking me some questions like, what were you wearing? Did you wear a robe? Were they like rolling on you? Did they like throw you around? What was it like having their legs wrapped around you? And I started explaining how, like, I started explaining it a little bit. And I remember, like, I said something about, like, yeah, it hit me right across the face. And she was like, did you deserve it? You shouldn't have been wearing that. And I was like, shit. She wants me to be a slut. Well, let's bring up your next comedian, who also has some slutty stories. The one you guys, probably came here to see, but you're going to get some extras afterwards. Give it up for Jeff Snyder.
We don't know where the stand is. Hello.
Hello.
I've upgraded last time. I borrowed the music stand. And it was fucked up because it didn't have a back. So it was like, oh shit, everybody can see my iPad. Now it's like, Jeff just loves music stands. Fuck it. So Teresa, my friend, is in the front row. And I really don't have a lot of jokes about people. But I already talked to Kelly, who's in the 6th row. And we didn't really come to a solution on what I was going to do about that joke, but we'll just sort of fucking wing it. So Teresa, from the stage, would you mind being like standing up and doing like a little pirouette for people, like up here, like when I tell the joke about you? Because the premise of the joke is that you're like very hot and very out of my league, and people are like, well, that's not hard to figure. But if you come up and actually, okay, so do you want me to just pretend you're not here, or do you want to do it?
I'll just bow.
Not now.
Oh, okay.
When I call you.
There you go.
Okay. I'm still in control. So my dad isn't here tonight because he doesn't like dirty comedy. He's also dead. He died 5 years ago on Father's Day. So tomorrow, my friend yesterday said, is tomorrow going to be hard for you? And I was like, why? And she goes, your dad is Father's Day. And I go, oh, no, he's dead. It's not going to be hard. I don't have to do anything. And she was like, most people think about their dad on Father's Day. And I was like, oh, right. I think about my dad all the time. It's not going to be harder. And then I was like, oh shit, you don't know. He died on Father's Day. And she goes, oh my God, that's got to be hard for you. And I said, no, I don't know. But I do think of my dad all the time because there's handicap parking spaces everywhere. I don't know if you've ever seen. And this sounds like I'm going to rank on his handicap. I'm not. He really wasn't very handicapped. He did have a handicap sticker, which he got from his knee replacement, which he never fucking gave back. So I can't tell you the number of times. So he had that for maybe like the last 7, 8, 10 years of his life. And so we would go wherever the hell, and he was just like, well, why don't you just park there? And I'm like, are they handicap spot? Because I'm not handicapped? And he's like, you should just get a sticker, man. I'm like, I think it's for the handicapped people. He's like, yeah, but you could like just get a sticker. Okay. So I'm still fucking it up. I'm still parking where the able-bodied people are parking. So my mom isn't here tonight. She is alive. I told her, under no fucking circumstances are you allowed to come. I was like, there's going to be butt stuff. There's going to be possibly a semen joke. Like, this is not happening. My mom has a master's in pastoral counseling. She's a chaplain. She's a ordained minister. It's like she's too fucking good. I'm not too worried about the fact that I'm a heathen because I feel like she'll like be able to get me in. I think like we're good. Like, probably going to hell, but she's gonna be like, nope, I need him. So she literally like 2 weeks ago, she goes, are you ready for the set? And I said, no. And she's like, well, just don't make fun of anybody. I said, don't make fun of, I don't really make fun of anybody. I make fun of myself, Mom. And she's like, well, don't even do that. I was like, I don't think you know how comedy goes at all. If you have to make fun of somebody, the least person to make fun of is yourself. She's like, well, I don't approve of it. Okay. So that same mother, so a couple things for the people that don't know me. I'm a financial advisor. I'm 46 years old. I've never been married. I have no children. Almost everybody, when they first meet me, thinks I'm gay. Usually, I'll be doing the material. Usually a few years later, they're like, he might not be gay. And then like 5 years later, they're like, I think he is gay. But my mother's a little more buttoned up than me. But I have some employees, and sometimes I take them to office dinners. And so years ago, I got in charge at my office. I used to work with my dad. He retired prior to dying. And I took over. So we went to Eastside in New Britain, which I think some of you have been to, great restaurant. So ticky-tacky, oi, fucking oi. So Eastside is a drinking palace with some shitty overpriced food. And I did a boot. So German food, Polish situation comes in a boot, which is like 48 ounces, I think. And so I did they saw like the light and the dark, and then, so I did a light boot, and then everybody, I think one other person in my staff did a boot, and then I did a dark boot, and everybody was like, wow, boss is drinking a lot of beer, that's a lot of boots. And then like I was paying the check, it like came to me, and I was like, my mother not only was there, but she drove me, which I was like, oh, like, this was before Uber, it was like 12 years ago. And I was like, oh, my mom drove me? Like, I'm gonna get wasted. And so, like, 3 people had declined dessert, 2 people had ordered it, and I was like, I'm gonna do a third boot. So that's like 144 ounces of beer, just to clarify. And my mom's like, oh heavens no, please don't do that. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fucking do it. You're driving, I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. And so I did it, but like the night got real fuzzy. And like I was just like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. And my mom was like, I told you not to do it, like this is just crazy. And so she didn't drive me home, she drove me to like my billiards league. So I got there and I was like, fuck. And I walked in and they had like the tall, like not these chairs, they had like real like tall chairs. And I like sat in one and like fell over like badly. I can't even do it. And then I proceeded to like some bad pool players, like somebody had broken the pool balls, but they weren't really like far away from where they had tried to rack them. And so I grabbed the pool balls. I like started racking them. And like the girl comes over to me, she's like, we were playing. And I'm like, you guys were practicing. She's like, no, this is a league match. That was our play. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I think I had too much to drink. So yeah, if you go to Eastside, 2 boots. That's the maximum number. The third boot is a fucking problem. I do a lot with horse racing. Like, yeah, I donate a lot by trying to win, and then they take my money, and yeah, I'm really involved. But they advertise horses for breeding. If you're watching horse racing, they're always like, justify. He just won fucking everything. Give us $25,000 and you can have his sperm in your lady horse. It sounds just like that, but but the names get crazy. I don't know if you know this, but you're not allowed to have the same name. Like you could have like Justify would typically have like Justified 2 or like Justify the sequel, but you can't have like Justify again. Like there's only one Justify horse. So I was thinking like a grade 1 winner out of Justify. We've got poop on her chest and her sister cum in her eyes. And if you want to breed your stallion this weekend, we cannot offer that time of the month, nor it's her period. But for the adventurous buyer, there's a possible threesome with Red Towel. All right, that's not my normal type of joke, but there we go. So here's my normal type of joke. I used to roll over and over and over as a 13-year-old to create friction for masturbation. So I knew that like masturbation was wrong or God didn't like it or I don't know. My mom was getting to me in those years. And I just so I didn't ever touch my dick at all. I just spun like a lot. Like it took a really long time. Like an hour, 45 minutes. I was like a rotisserie chicken of beating off. And I'm looking in the back of the room, and my sister and brother are laughing a lot less than my brother-in-law and my brother's friend. So I was just constantly spinning to create enough friction, and it was just. And in those years, I had a radio, and I would listen to the Red Sox. So 1080 was on, and I'm just spinning and listening to the Red Sox, and spinning and listening to the Red Sox, and I don't think it fucked me up too much. Everybody gets a massive erection walking into Fenway Park, right? And I masturbate lefty to this day. I do everything else in my life righty. I have no. Oh, you're ambidextrous. Nope. I can do one thing lefty. When I shake your hand, that's a clean hand. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's a bad hand. Anybody guess why I masturbate lefty? What? Sort of. The reason me and almost everybody in their 40s who apparently are devoid of speak right now, but many righties who are men who masturbate lefty, it's because that was the mouse hand back in the day. So I couldn't get through the porn I couldn't really mouse it lefty. It was just fucked up. So the right hand was the mouse hand, and then I had no microphone, and the other hand was on the dick. But yeah, so that's why. And fuck you for not agreeing to that, people in your 40s. The best part of being the boss at my office, I control the porn policy. We have a very strict firewall when it comes to customer data. I'm lucky. A lot of my clients are friends of mine who actually can handle something like this, and they're here. I can see several clients without my glasses. But we have a very unsecure firewall when it comes to porn. Written exceptions for the firewall: Pornhub, Xvideos, EWOCfuckplay.org, Avatar Cosplay POV.com, and of course Brazilian fart fetish site.xxx. And speaking of porn, I desperately want a stepsister. I have 4 half-siblings, but I just need her to come from Central America with 38 double D boobs and a fetish for ball gags. I mean, I don't think I'm asking for too much. My dad got married 5 times. So the first one doesn't count because that was before me. The second one was my mom. He got married again and again and again. And none of those people had daughters. Not only not hot Central American daughters, but not daughters at all. Which I think is fucked up. And no stepsister has ever barged into my bedroom complaining about how lonely her throat was. Like, OnlyFans is, I've had like male friends go up to me like, do you have a lot of money? Like, you gonna retire? I'm like, nah. They're like, OnlyFans get you? Like, they think that I have like a 5-figure addiction to OnlyFans monthly. It's 4 figures, by the way, so fuck you. But there's way less new porn content coming out. Everybody, none of the guys here are gonna agree with that? Okay, cool. Do you know how much porn you have to watch over the years to recognize that there's a dearth of new porn? Like I have like a good sense of this. Like, I'm not aware of the new starlets. Oh, they're on OnlyFans making more money. Well, fuck that. Good times. So I don't know why I'm single now, but I know why I was single until I was about 38. I used to do a pretty, I think it was a defense mechanism in retrospect, but it was a gay voice, and I did it all the time, pretty much. My friend's clapping because he's like, yeah, you did that all the time. So thank you. I went up to, this is real life, like 12-ish years ago. Wasn't doing my best 12 years ago. 2013, rough time for me, apparently. I went up to a girl at Max Fish, and I shit you not, she was a 10 out of 10, at least. And I went up to her after 2 beers with the following. Jesus, you look so fucking good. What the fuck are you doing to your hair? Holy fuck. Where do you get it done? I need to get my hair done like that. Oh my god, I don't even have any hair. Jesus. And she was like, hi, I'm Kristen. And I said, you're goddamn right you are. Do you want a drink? Or should we just exchange numbers? Or... And she's like, I'll take a drink and we can exchange numbers. And I was like, fucking yes. And after maybe 20 minutes, I was like, I have to go because I have a fantasy baseball draft, but it's been great meeting you and let's go out Saturday. And she said, no problem. And I said, you know what? This is true, real life what I did. I said, let's go to Max Oyster Bar, but let's meet a little earlier. I don't know why. Let's go shopping. I was like, we'll go to lunch at 1, but let's go shopping at like 11:30, 11:45. There's a Lululemon there. I think it'll be great. She goes, this sounds fucking awesome. So we go shopping. I bought her something. I bought me something. We go have some oysters. I like this girl super hot. She's into me. We finish the lunch. And I was just like, do you want to go out again? Like in my regular voice? And she's like, was this a date? And I was like, yeah, why would this not be a date? She's like, I thought you were like my new best gay friend. And I was like, oh my God, what? Why would you say that? But yeah, so she's still on Bumble today. And not that I know that, not that I'm there, whatever, it's fine. But she's like still gorgeous, and I'm like occasionally like, hey. But yeah, we don't date at all. I don't know her at all. Kristen, real name. So I hired a friend of mine to work marketing / the front desk at my financial advisory firm. And we were friends because she was in 9th grade Glastonbury High School when I was in 12th grade, and we were real friends in real life, and I really hired her thinking that it would work out at work, and there was nothing else to it. Okay, so I go to her wedding at St. Clement's Castle, and everything was lovely and fine, and no problem. So a few months go by, and I showed up at work at about 10:45, as I want to do. And they had a meeting of the staff at like 8:30 or so. And so I show up and somebody pulls me aside and said, "Did you hear Cassie got pregnant?" And I said, "Cassie's pregnant?" And they said, "Yes." And I was like, "No." So when I went up to her and casually said, "Heard you got knocked up." And she's like, "You mean intentionally having a child with my husband Eric? You were at the wedding and you know us?" And I said, "Whatever." And I walked away. And 10 minutes later, I rolled up and I said, "I thought with the type of sex that you and Eric have, that was like a physical impossibility." And I walked away. And then 10 minutes later, I rolled up and I said, and by the way, her head was like. So 10 minutes later, I roll up and I said, "I don't know if you took that as an anal or an oral joke, but it works either way." And my good friend David is in the back of the room, and he's an employment lawyer for a very major firm, and I can tell you a joke about him from 20 years ago when he started his career. He said, Bubby is my nickname from growing up. He said, "Bubby, I don't think I'm ever gonna need another client. I think I'll just have to wait for you to do shit, and I'll just have to defend you." So Cassie moved on to much greater riches at the Hartford, and I will have you know that we are still friends, and she is still my personal client. But yours working. And I said to her, "Thank you for not taking my phone." So we went to hire a receptionist, and my staff was like, "We're hiring a receptionist, a part-time worker at the front desk." And this is like many years later, just a couple years ago. And I was like, "Okay, when are the interviews?" They're like, "Doesn't matter, you're not gonna be a part of it." I was like, why wouldn't I have say in who works for me and who I pay? They're like, "Because you'll hire a Hawaiian Tropics model." And I said, "Correction, I'll hire an ex-Hawaiian Tropics model. She'll now be our receptionist." So our receptionist is 72. Not my choice, but that's the deal. I have a client with minor Tourette's syndrome in Florida, and I do not mean to rank on a medical condition, but it is a little fucked up because they've been my client for like 20 years, and it's almost always by phone. So but they've never like addressed it. Like there's never like a, "Hey, just so you know, Rick swears sometimes, and it sounds fucking crazy." They just say, "Hey, this is Rick and Robin." And I'm like, where are we going with that? You know. So, a little off-putting, just try to have a normal business conversation, and occasionally he's just like, "Cockfuckers, fucking motherfucking cockfucker." And I'm just like, "Yeah, second quarter results weren't great." He's like, "Cockfucker, fuck you." I'm like, "Oh," like one time it was like, I think he was off his meds, like there were like 71 cockfuckers, and I'm like, "Just keep going, buddy. You haven't gotten into the international markets yet." Like, "Cocksucker, fuck." It's really offensive when you go to pay non-hookers for sex. I mean, they take it, but they're really weird about it. I'll be at the liquor store buying like 72 beers, and I see a guy buying one 16-ounce beer and like a nip. Gonna have one Boilermaker, huh? You're a fucking alcoholic. If the history of the earth were compressed into a single year, this is true. I mean, a lot of what I've said is true, but some of it's lies. But if the history of the earth were compressed into a single year, humans would appear on December 31st at 11:58 p.m. I guess this is why all of humanity is acting hammered drunk at all times. So I played golf with this guy, Big John, and everybody's like, "Jeff, you gotta meet Big John, you're gonna love Big John." I'm like, "Where's Big John?" They showed me Big John. I was like, "He big." And they're like, "Nah, he just lost a shitload of weight. You ain't seen Big John as Big John." I'm like, "Hey John, how big were you?" He's like, 4'10". I'm like, "That's big. How big you now?" He's like, 335. I said, "How'd you lose the weight?" He goes, "Look, He's from Arkansas. He knew John Daly, the golfer. He's like, I gotta tell you a story. He goes, I went to my doctor. I said, I know I'm fucked up. What I gotta do? Doctor's like, you gonna die, Big John. You gonna die. He goes, all right, what I gotta do? He goes, well, you can't drink no more? I go, how long can I drink? He goes, 6 months. And I started that June 9th. So December 9th, come down to my house in Arkansas. We gonna get fucked up. I saw him, we played the first night almost, I didn't know him that well. And he was a little sluggish, and I said, you all right? He said, yeah, I just need another Monster energy drink. And I was like, okay, those aren't good for you. I think everybody knows that. You need a little pick-me-up but you're not doing the alcohol. He goes, no, I do a Vicodin and then an energy drink to try to keep me on the even keel. I'm like, how many Vicodin you had today? It's 11 o'clock in the morning. Like, how many Vicodin you had? 3. How many energy drinks? 2. Oh, fuck. I think you're gonna die, Big John. Oh, now we're at your story. Do you want to just can you do a little pirouette for everybody? Thank you. So Teresa is a very good friend of mine. So good that we went to the Dominican Republic 10 years ago. And she was sort of in the throes of breaking up with this dude, but she was sort of single, but sort of not. And I was obviously single. And we went and we shared a room, and it was a king-size bed, which I don't know if you've ever had a king-size bed, but like, that's not sharing. I'd share every single time a king-size bed with any of you. You don't touch anybody. You know how freaking far away she was? We were in the same bed, but it was like super irrelevant. But I get back, and there's like pictures, and she's in a bikini, and as it turns out, I got a super bad sunburn in the first like 20 minutes, and literally cleaned the room the rest of the time. She's out in her bikini completely without me. Like, she's like mad at me, I'm not with her, and I'm like, but that's not how the pictures looked when we came back. And I had a buddy, and he wasn't even a good buddy, but it was like sort of a friend or an acquaintance type guy. And so there's like pictures of us sort of like looking like a couple, and I come back and he's like, did you hit it? And I go, no. And he's like, did you hit it though? And I was like, honestly, no. And he goes, do you know what I mean by did you hit it? And I'm like, yeah, did Teresa and I have sex? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, then no. And he goes, why didn't you hit it? I think he got paid every time he said hit it. Like, it was insane. And I go, and we were sort of in public, like not crazy public, but like it was, like there were people around, and I go, how do you feel about rape? And he goes, what? And I said, rape? How do you feel about it? And he goes, dude, fucking rape? I don't rape anybody ever. I go, I'm the same way with rape. The first night, we're in the same bed. We both had a bunch to drink. I turned to her, I said, do you want to have sex? She said, no. That was it. He goes, I swear to God, he goes, you really didn't hit it though. I'm like, is this candid fucking camera? Like, no. To this day, Teresa has had the brilliance to not have sex with me. Let's clap it up for Teresa. I love girls who are like, I work out at least 5 days a week. I'm like, you know, especially girls online that I don't know, I'm like, add a 6th day in there, maybe a 7th. An 8th wouldn't hurt, judging by the size of your fupa. I like to treat women that I date well, but not too well. You've heard of a sugar daddy? I'm like a stevia daddy. Like, yeah, baby, get what you want. Wait a second, let me see that bill. Yeah, like some of that shit's okay. So this one's sad because I wrote this joke a couple months ago and then exactly what I wrote happened. So sometimes I have an only date. I would call it a first date, but that implies there will be more dates. Mine are more like only dates, like this is the only one. So I told that joke to a girl like 2 months ago on what was a 2.5 hour like fantastic date. Never saw her again. And she was like, that's good. That doesn't apply. That definitely applies to us. I've perfected the art of masturbation. I think I'm ready for somebody else to be in the room when I come. I'm not jaded at all, but when I see a bachelorette party, I stop the bride with, good luck with your first wedding. Ever been at a wedding and you're just immediately smitten with the bride? I'm like, girl, you seeing anybody? She's like, yeah, the fucking groom? My mother pulls me aside, Jeff, stop. That's your first cousin. Just fucking stop. My dad was married, this is true, I told you, my dad was married 5 times. I didn't attend number 5. So number 1 was before my birth. Number 2 was before my birth slightly. Number 3 was, I was like 23 and I was there. Number 4, I was like 27 and I was there. Number 5, he was like, it was like May. He goes, I'm getting married July 13th in New Jersey. I was like, must be a big day for you. It was a Wednesday, and he gave me like 7 weeks notice. I go, I'm gonna be in Ireland with my mom. Like we booked that a year ago, like you would for a major thing in your life. Yeah. I said, fuck it, I'll just catch the 6th one. So my friend Greg is here in the yellow shirt in the 3rd row. Everybody look at Greg. So Greg and I are better off financially, independent. By the way, we don't date or anything, just to clarify. We are better off financially than we were 7 or 8 years ago when I was at, he's like, I want to start traveling, do you want to go? He knows that I'm one of the best friends, no benefits. So we were, Greg wanted to start traveling. I was like, sure, I'd love to travel around the world, blah, blah, blah. He goes, you're one of the only people I know that's single that could do it, could take the time, etc. He's also a lawyer, entrepreneur himself. So anyway, I locate a Groupon, and I'm like, dude, we can afford this, let's do it. And so it was Venice for 2 nights, Florence for 2 nights, and Rome for 3 nights. And we went on the trip, and it was fun, and there's pros and cons, whatever. But that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about our friend Corey. When we came back, she direct messaged me and said, how was your honeymoon with Greg? And I was like, it wasn't a honeymoon, it was a Groupon. It just happens to be in 3 cities that people often honeymoon at. And she goes, were there separate beds? And I said, yes, there were separate, of course there were separate beds. She said, were there separate rooms? I said, well, now that gets tricky. That would have hurt the money that we saved from the Groupon. So it was 1 room. She goes, well, how would anybody know that there were separate beds? How could you prove it? So, this is the one where I'm not sure if the person wants to be outed or not, but I bought a friend a valuable appendage once because she could only afford 1 of 2 enhanced appendages that were going to appear on her chesticles. So I had a friend that had very small boobs, and we had been friends for many years, and she was sort of like, I really want a boob job. And then just in talking, she was like, but I can't afford both boobs. I can afford like 1/2 of the job. And I was like, well, that will look fucking terrible. So I foisted upon her. She didn't ask for it, but I literally was like, here's money, and you can pay me back at 0% interest whenever you like. And she was like, okay. And so that all happened, and that was all fine. And then she got a boyfriend, so there was like no access to the stuff I had just helped buy. Which that was a little bit of, that was like the interest. Like it was just going to be like and occasionally you'll get some like boob stuff, because like you sort of own one of them. And so she immediately was smart enough to get a boyfriend, and I was like, okay, touche, I get it, that's fine. And then, so she paid down the boob to like 0, or just about 0, and then we went to Lucky Taco like quite a few years ago when they were in business. And she said, you know, I have a bit of I'm a financial advisor, so people do bring up their money issues to me, and she's like, I have a bit of an issue with something in terms of a credit card. And I was like, what? And she was like, when I said I had the money for the other boob, they just put it on like boob layaway. So now it's gonna be like 27% interest. I don't have the money. And I don't want you to pay because you already like financed the other side of my chest, so that seems weird. But like, feel free if you have it. Like, I would love to not pay 27% interest. So then the boob tally went up, and then she again like whittled it down to like a few grand, and then she was like, I'm engaged, and I think that my husband-to-be might like sort of knock off the boob tally so you have no like access after our wedding. And that happened. It was all kosher, super kosher, and so I was like a boob financier. So I thought that was appropriate for a dirty comedy set. I visited my friend Jean, and she has a bunch of horses, and she also has a pig. And the pig started out in life at like 3 pounds, and then was like 5 pounds, and then was like 20 pounds. And I don't know if you know anything about pigs, but the pig ended up being 200 fucking pounds. And I believe it was marketed to her and others as a micro pig, but it did not stay micro. It became a fucking huge fucking pig. And so this is only like 2 years ago. I was in Florida, and I'm like, can I feed Millie, the pig? And they're like, yeah. But everybody assumed that everybody who was asking about feeding the pig knew how to feed the pig. By the way, how you feed the pig is you take almonds, you throw them near the pig, and you run the fuck away, because the pig's dangerous as shit. How I fed the pig was, the pig almost ripped my fucking hand off. Like, I have like scars to this day from the pig. And of course, Gina is cackling, like so excited about the fact that I got my fucking hand ripped out. I'm like racing to the sink. Could you please make sure I have all my appendages before you fucking laugh? I've shown tremendous self-restraint. In my life, I've never produced any kids. I mean, not to fruition. Not if you don't count the abortions. Some people are pro-life. I am pro-abortion. Jeff, you mean pro-choice. No, I know what I said. I think kids should be abortable until they hit 10. Basically all of elementary school. Keep that head in a swivel. So I did Grease actually with a few people in this crowd several years ago, 2016, and they could verify that this story actually happened in real life. So, long story short, a woman girl, whatever, she was 19. I don't know her at all to this day because she made it to 2 rehearsals. The first one, she was in the ensemble and we did the rehearsal. The second one, she broke down in front of everybody with this. I just am so sad. I love you, Greaseballs. I don't know, nobody ever called anybody Greaseballs. I don't know where the fuck Greaseballs came from. I love you, Greaseballs, so much. And it kills me to have to do this. But the doctor said that for the benefit of the baby, I have to be on bed rest. And I will support you in any possible way, but I can't be in the show. She didn't even attend the show and we sent her free tickets. Anyway, so I got up in front of everybody because I was in the show, but I was also the producer, and I said, if you really supported the show, you would abort the baby. I have 8 nieces and nephews, that's enough. I don't want kids traditionally, but I would like to adopt a 4-year-old British kid with a trust fund, because I'm a financial advisor, and like if he already has assets, like I'd be like, Dad, I don't know what to do with all my money. Like, I have all this Bitcoin. You want it? Okay, kid. Come over here, Nigel. I have what my doctor is technically called. It's a tough word. I know Mike struggled with one of his conditions, but this, I guess it's called a micropenis. It's a medical term, whatever. All I know is it always gets the same nickname from girlfriends. They're like, oh, there's the button. I can't believe lesbians don't love me more because I am a gigantic pussy. Nobody is more single than me and sends more dick pics. And you would think some of those would land. I've been a member of Glastonbury Hills for many years, and I have a friend, and she's always like, why don't you come by the pool more often? I'm like, come by the pool? Because eventually they're like, which one of these kids is yours? And I'm like, oh, I just love watching all of them. There was a story, there was a famous golfer, Lee Trevino. He lived near Houston, Texas in the 1970s. He's actually married a woman from Wethersfield, which is a little topical but irrelevant. And he had his shirt off. He was from Mexico. He had his shirt off. He was mowing the lawn. And I pictured as like the Grey Poupon couple from the commercials. But this elderly white couple came by and said, sir, what do you charge to mow lawns? And it was his house and his lawn. He just happened to be like a rich Mexican guy. And he turned and he said, well, this woman lets me fuck her, but I guess I could do it for $20. This girl, Jess, I didn't know how to this joke had more appendages to it, but I just ended up with, this girl, Jess, broke up with me several years ago. She said the following, and I shit you not, it's just that whenever I have free time, I never want to spend it with you. Oh, fuck. I think we're done here. She ended up marrying a Glastonbury-based financial advisor. That's cool. She's got a type. Whatever. Buying condoms is the kiss of death for me in a relationship. I go, okay, we're having regular sex. I'm going to buy the 24 bonus pack. After 6 years, I threw away like 23 condoms. I shit you not. It was 2019. 2013, 19, not my best years. 2020, I was thriving. COVID, great. I've been working on sexual waterboarding for quite some time, and I think I'm close to perfecting it. I do. I can't breathe. Stop. I can't breathe. Sure. And if you knew the safe word, I would totally stop. It's like the Vietnam War for women at my house. We're losing some of our best people. There are two women, one of whom is here, who I will not call out, with whom I have a fairly formal death agreement. It is, if I'm near them when they expire, I have to report the death within 45 minutes. And almost certainly the cops are going to be like, were you mid-coitus when she died? And I'm going to be like, totally, oh my God, yes, we were totally doing that before she died. Okay, I'm over my time. I'm going to end with what is some of my friends' favorite story, which I held from the last one for this. So this is real life at Plan B in Glastonbury a few years ago. A girl walked in who I knew as like a bar friend, and I had known her for 10 years, 5 years. But I had seen her 20 times, and she was like an acquaintance. I didn't have her cell phone number. We didn't hang out. She came in, it was like 11:45 on a Sunday night. Yes, I went to Plan B a lot. So she came in and I was like, hey Jen, how are you? And she's like, good, how are you? What's up, Jeff? I was like, nothing. I was like, what's going on? Pleasantries. And I said, I have a condo really near here, 3 bedrooms, nicely appointed. It's like 1.5 miles away. You should come over sometime. And she's like, and I go, no, it's nothing like that. There's a guest room. I just did the sheets. There's a lock on the door. Feel free. She said, oh, okay. And I said, well, there's my bedroom. I wouldn't really recommend that. And then I went to my beer. And she was like, there's a there's a third bedroom? I was like, yeah. What does your vacation schedule look like? What? What would it be like if you just didn't show up at work for a couple weeks? Why wouldn't I show up at work? I call that room like the Venus flytrap, like easy to get in, hard to get out. She's like, oh my God. I said, yeah, but I doubt you have the necessary uniform anyway. What's a uniform? Purple latex. People don't usually roll around with that in their own size. I have all the sizes though. Some will be provided for you. She's like, are you serious? I go, no, but you'll make friends. Why would I make friends? Well, you're not going to be the only one in there. I told you it's hard to get out. And you don't need to, but you'll lose weight. Why would I lose weight? Well, it's not like the army. I mean, you're fed, but it's not 3 square meals. I never saw that woman again in my life. Ever. Never one time. I think she moved states. I don't think she just stopped coming to Plan B. I think she was like, fuck this. She lived, that was it. That's my time.
All right. Good job, Jeff. I want to remind everybody to get your drinks during the show. Great job. I want to let you guys know a little something. An EMT went by while Jeff was on. I was outside. And I want to let all you know that to become an EMT, you only have to get a 70% on the test to get certified. So there's about 30% of the knowledge that they don't retain. So just know that. I got EMT certified when I was in college. And one of the things they taught us was don't put anything in a hole that you're not willing to lose. So I've been fucking a lot less things lately. Let's bring up your next comedian. She is a New York-based comedian, but she tours all over the country. You might have seen her on Kill Tony or Gaslight Comedy. Let's give it up for Gina Hyena.
First things first, I want to let y'all know I'm not the broke boob girl. Anyways, I feel like I need to clear that up. Also, that's your financial advisor. He just told you he invested twice in one boob, and he didn't get to touch it. And he used a Groupon on vacation. You guys should probably find her that guy. It's actually crazy. I'm Gina Hyena. That's a stage name. My real last name is Italian, so I don't use it on stage. But I'm not actually from New York City. I'm from Western Mass. I'm from Chicopee. So I just went to a funeral in Dunkin' Donuts today, which I'm pretty sure is like 2 out of 3 things that you do in Springfield, Massachusetts. I got that done. Like when I'm in New York and I tell people I'm from Massachusetts, they're like, oh, are you from like Cape Cod or are you from Boston? I'm like, no, there's like a part of 95 that turns it to 91, and if you roll down the windows, you get blasted in the face with Narcan. That's when I know I'm home. That's the part I'm from. Started going to funerals in high school. And it's tough because it's like the first 2 are heartbreaking, but then by the 3rd one, your friend gets on pills, you're like, do I even want to tell you to get clean? Because like, what am I going to tell you? You just got a shift lead at the gas station? Like, I'm like, yeah, you're right, you should probably get high. It's tough. It's tough. I'm not, like, I have a very dark sense of humor because of where I grew up and I dress like this. I'm not even goth, I just dress like this because my ex used to hit me. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny because like every once in a while when I'm doing that joke, women will come up to me after and they're like, "That's horrible. Like no guy should ever hit you." And it's just like get to know me better, you know. Sometimes I'll go to a nice town. Like if you go to a gentrified town, like Austin, Texas is very gentrified now. They just love victims, so I have to like reframe it and be like, I'm a victim of domestic violence, and they start clapping, and I'm like, I don't applaud that, you know. That's awkward. And I miss him, you know? It's horrible, but it is my fault, you know, I talk back. No, it's horrible. It truly is my fault because I dated a pimp for 4 years. That's a true story. I dated a pimp in New York City. Don't tighten up, Connecticut. He wasn't black. I couldn't do that to my Italian family. You know, I can bring a criminal home, but you can't push it too much. It's so stupid. Pimp for 4 years. That should have been a fling. My dumbass tried to turn the trap house into a trap home. I don't know what I was doing. I was so stupid. Not black, half Italian, half Jewish. That's a perfect crossbreed for a pimp. Like, you just gotta think about it. Like, dogs are bred to do certain things. I don't know if you guys know this. Dachshunds are bred to be a long tooth, and they're mean as fuck. They are bred to be on golf courses, and they can fit into the holes and chase out moles and gophers. If you want a pimp, you want Italian and Jewish. Because he's gonna have a strong backhand, pretty angry attitude, but he's gonna be fiscally responsible. He's not gonna spend any of his own money, you know? Do you know how embarrassing that is to date a cheap criminal? I held it down for 4 years. That guy got me Michael Kors for Christmas. I was like, this is the time when I call the cops. I was like, I'm calling 911 now. Like, no Gucci, nowhere. Like, what the fuck? It was crazy. It's embarrassing to date a cheap criminal. It's embarrassing to waste like your 20s, your tight skin, date a guy that hits you and he didn't even play for the NFL. Like, when I see younger girls now, I'm like, date an athlete. They make so much money. Just date an athlete. Just don't take the elevator with them. That shit's gonna go down. It's crazy. Being a child from the 90s, and like half of the ESPN top 10 highlights were just elevator footage. Like, they're just like, that was a crazy hit. He's not even on the defense. This is wild. Yes, this is a dark comedy show, just to remind you. But it is wild, because I can guarantee you to this day, Taylor Swift has not gotten to an elevator with Travis Kelce. And we're gonna know the day she does. It's gonna be a hell of an album. That girl's gonna go from country to pop to just hardcore metal. And honestly, just fuck her. I hope it happens. Fuck her. I'm not even do comedy. I just came up here to say fuck her. No, anyway, it's just, you know what pissed me off? It's like a year or two ago, she had an album that was called The Tortured Poet. Fuck you. Like, you've been rich for so long, tortured poet, eat my ass. Like, you take a private jet to Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks, you get a frappuccino and waste fucking everybody's oil. No, it's fucking insane. Like, if it was like Gypsy Rose, my mom fed me Mercury, like that little girl, if she called herself a tortured poet, I'd buy that shit on vinyl, you know? I'd go to that concert, shave my head, get a grill. And just, I love that everybody knows Gypsy Rose. It's crazy, right? That's a boss babe. You know, like, I'm like, no, these real estate agents, these girls selling essential oils, that's not a boss babe. Get a guy to kill your mom, that's a fucking boss babe, you know? And then she said, fuck it, I'm bored, new boyfriend, he's in jail, fuck it. Alright, it is crazy, because I do a lot of dark jokes just because of where I'm from, and like, I'll go do shows sometimes, and people get like crossed arms, and they're like, that's not funny. And then they go home and listen to true crime to fall asleep. And I'm like, you open up a bottle of wine and listen to like the worst day of a man's life. Like his daughter just got decapitated, and you're just like, I'm gonna pause this. I think I need to get another drink. You do it while you're listening, doing your nails. You're like, I said Joe. Oh, what happened? She was in a silo? Like, it's just like insane. It's like, that's a deep cut. Everybody knows the silo one. Let's fuck up. No, it's crazy because like, I think it is important though. Like, everybody in here listen to true crime. I'm sure we got a lot of people, right? All the girls love true crime. Any guys in here listen to true crime? Oh, that was a test, motherfucker. We're never seeing you again, sweetheart. Everybody, turn on your location. I think it's important for women to listen to true crime because you learn some shit. Like, I have long nails. Like, if a guy attacks me, I can scratch him. I'm not surviving, but there's gonna be DNA under my nails. You know, just girl things. Just cute things to put on a Pinterest board. No, and you learn, like, don't go hiking. Not only is it a cheap date, you're just not coming back. We're just never seeing you again. I have a girlfriend that got me going to national parks like a fucking idiot. I was like, are you not listening to any of the game tape here, girl? Like, we got all the rules. Don't go to the national park. She called me, her and her boyfriend, they've been dating for 6 years. She goes, oh, me and Corey are going to Yellowstone. I was like, 50-50 shot. This girl was either getting engaged or going missing. Like, one or the other. Her mom called me. She was like, did you hear? I was like, what? She was like, you're going to be a bridesmaid? And I was like, fuck! So I knew he didn't have it in him. worst calling it as a female. All of a sudden your friend is like, hey, do you want to invest $300 in the ugliest shit you've ever seen in your life? By the end of it, you're like, I spent $2,000 on my friend doing some shit I didn't want to do. By the wedding, you're just like kicking her down the aisle. You're like, fuck it, you take her. You're like, you can wear it again. That's how you can wear it again, bitch. Wear. I have never shown up to brunch in David's bridal ever. Like, I've never worn that shit again. Sorry, that was for the 20 females in the room. Sorry, guys. We'll get back to like the cum jokes and rape or whatever later. Somebody will come up here and do a pedophilia joke that'll seem a little too real. It's like that. I just am bitter about the bridesmaid shit because I've never been married, no kids, and that's fine with me because like the people I've dated, like I was dating a fucking pimp. I was like, I'm marrying him, and then like I went on this like roller coaster of like just Russian doll of more violent guys. Like after I dated the pimp, I dated a guy that I just called Prison Matt. Prison Matt was in for 6 years. For what? I don't know. I'm just that down-ass of a bitch. I never asked. I didn't even know his last name. I had it in my phone as Prison Matt soap emoji. I thought that was really cute. It was crazy. Easiest guy to cook for, you know? Can't recommend it enough. You just throw a can of soup on the radiator. Heaven forbid it's progressive. That's just gonna knock his government-issued socks right off. It's crazy. I had to dump that guy though, because it was like, this was like mid-2000s, like 2010, and he always wanted to eat my ass, like he was like ahead of the game. He always wanted to eat my ass, and I was like, I know where you learned that, you know? Been inside for 6 years, focusing on one thing like Andy Dufresne. I don't want to do it. I might fall in love. You might be too good at it. It's fun. So, like I said, never been married, no kids. So it's fine with me, and it's really not okay with my Italian family. I was just home, and my dad was like, "Really wish you would stop visiting alone." Way to twist that knife in, Tony. My name is Gina, and my dad's name is Tony, because I'm a cartoon of an Italian person. I don't think I'm real. I just visit him through sewage pipes. See each other. My dad's name is Tony. He's named after my grandfather, Tony. My brother's name is Tony. My nephew's name is Tony. He's also named after my grandfather, Tony, who's named after his brother, Tony, who drowned. That's some immigrant shit. What happened was, some lady got on a boat, came over, had a litter of Tonys. And then one of them drowned, and she said, fuck it, mulligan, next up, going. Fucking insane. I feel so bad telling that joke because it's true, and my parents have never seen my comedy. They're like, what's it about? I'm like, it's like, what if dogs could talk, you know? It's cute. It's so stupid. Yeah, it's crazy. So Tony really wants a grandkid. At this point, like, he does, it's crazy. He goes, I don't even care if we get married anymore. I was like, that's an M. Night Shyamalan twist on the Italian Catholic father. That's not how that story is supposed to go at all. My dad does not give a shit if I get married. He doesn't give a fuck if I make it in comedy. Like, he does not give a shit if I get a promotion at work. All my dad wants is for me to get cream pied at this point. It's just, all he wants for his little girl, somebody glass and ropes. It's just, it's nice. It's like a Rascal Flatts song, you know? It's crazy. He goes, I don't care if we get married. He goes, I will help raise those kids. I will help financially, I will help whatever you want, which I think is very sweet. It's like, it's really cute. I think my dad's adorable, because he thinks I've never been pregnant. That's my favorite joke to do in Texas. Just flex on him, I'm like, smoking if you got him, bitches. I do a lot of comedy down in Austin, Texas, and it is sad, because they can't get abortions down there. And I've never seen a place that deserves them more. Every time I go down there, I'm like, this is so backwards. Like, the women can't get health care and the men can't say they're gay, so they just do jujitsu. You go down there, and you can't get a guy to listen to you for 2 seconds straight. He'll listen to Joe Rogan talk for 5 hours straight with headphones on. I'm like, why are you giggling with another man in your ear? That's really gay. I dated a guy down in Texas that did jiu-jitsu, and he told me the same thing every time. They have the same explanation. They go, you don't get it. It's like mental and physical chess. And I'm like, I bet you're doing a lot of mental chess up there, pal. Just kiss him. It is fun. The abortion joke is the one I feel the worst about because I am Catholic and my dad is super Catholic. How Catholic is he? I literally just saw him, and I think my dad says now, before I leave the house, is, do you need a cross for your pocket? My dad just gives me these. My dad is not ordained. I don't know where he gets these. I think he gets them at Costco. And now I have like 7 of them. Like, I already look like a witch hunter. Like, I don't need any more of this paraphernalia. Like, he's just leaving like air tags for Jesus at this point. He's like, please help her. It's so fun. It is tough. I started going back to church. I go every Sunday. I have to go to confession, learn my type 5 by the priest. Just bombs every time. It's crazy because the priest thought I was saying something different when I said type 5. There's no good way out of that joke. Every time I do it, I'm like, yeah, it feels bad every fucking time. Now it's been tough because like I don't like being Catholic because of the drama and just the whole everything going on. So I am trying to get married. I'm trying to find somebody nice, and it's been tough because I went from dating like criminals to then I was like, what's next? I guess just like athletic morons. So I did it because it's just like, who's making money? I dated a rugby player. I don't know if you guys are familiar with rugby players. That's like an NFL player without a helmet. And you'll know as soon as you talk to him. I went on a date with this guy. We went to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I was like, oh, I like this movie. He goes, what do you think of it? And I go, I like it. It's kind of like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Yeah, I know that shit, okay? I was like, you took 2 characters from a universe, made something else, and you broke it down, and now we know a different story about it. And his brain just like leaked out of his ear. And he went, the dog was cool. And I was like, yes, babe. The dog was cool. You have great shoulders. I used to tell him all the time, I'd be like, you remind me of Lenny from Mice and Men. Big and strong, you just really don't have much to say. And he'd go, I don't get it. And I go, I know. Very sweet, I just can't leave you around my dog. You might hold her too tight, you know? It's tough. It's tough. And I was saying, I was like, I'd like to have kids, and at this point, like, getting older, I think I'm just gonna adopt. It's like a cheat code, you know, you get past the puppy years, you get one that's good. I think I want to adopt from China because they're better. You know, like I'm like, I don't want a kid that's stuck on the iPad, I want the kid that made the iPad. They're just subservient or polite. I'm like, that's nice. Like, they'll just get to that, they'll help me like with my rugs or whatever, do the dry cleaning, I don't know. It's crazy. I was like, it'll be like a Build-A-Bear situation. Like, I'm gonna buy the plane ticket, I'm gonna go right to the Apple factory, I'm gonna get one from the suicide net. That's how you know he was a good one. He was a hard worker. He was fucking stressed. It's a horrible joke. But I didn't do it, you know. But it's tough. They're expensive. I don't know if you know this. Because it's such a flex. If you can adopt a Chinese kid, you're like, oh, your car's foreign? Check out Lingo. You think you got a foreign? Check this shit out. It's really expensive. So I think I'm going to go the cheaper route. I think I'm just going to go down to the border and get one that's crate trained. Also a great joke to do in Texas. It's fine. I did find out I am dating somebody nice now. It's nice. I'm dating somebody smart. He's divorced. He's a rescue. We're working out some behavioral issues. It's okay. But he has kids and I'm like, cool, cheat code. Like already, it's like getting like a white surrogate. This is awesome, you know? They're already there, but like, I've been trying to look up online how to be a good stepmom. And I gotta tell you, the podcasts and the videos tell you 2 different stories. I'm like, what do you mean? Speak to them like an adult, but also get stuck in the dryer? Like that. It's crazy. I'm not gonna fuck his kids. Don't fuck kids. I've never fucked a kid. I've come close. I've dated a 35-year-old that collected Pokemon cards, and that felt pretty close. Like, he left one day, he skateboarded home. And his little childish paraphernalia was around my house. It was a strawberry vape and Pokemon cards. And I was like, if the feds ever came in my apartment right now, I know, if they would look through my phone, they'd be like, ma'am, all of his texts to you are just about Charizard. I'd be like, he's really powerful. I don't know. Adults like dragons too, Game of Thrones, like, I don't know. He had freckles too, which didn't help the cause, you know? I was telling him, like, grow up. So, it also didn't help his name was Toby. That was, yeah. There was like, I was celibate for 18 months because I dated criminals and fucking athletic morons, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna date a nerd. Maybe this will be different. Some guy skateboarded up to a comedy club, and I said, there's the one. I'm gonna do it. Fucking freckles look kind of like a Cocker Spaniel with a skateboard. And I hadn't had sex in over a year and a half, and so this guy got to feel way more cool than a guy who collects Pokemon cards should ever feel. Like during it, he goes, say my name, and I said, absolutely not. There's no way I'm ever shouting Toby during sex.
I go by the eyes.
My neighbors would think I'm fucking my dog, you know? The only way to get kicked out of an apartment in Manhattan, like, slap your kids around, still fuck your dog. It's crazy. I'm dating a psychiatrist, which is pretty wild. He's not my psychiatrist, I'm not that hot, you know? It's great, it's scary. He communicates, that's weird. It's like when I tell him I'm mad, he'll go, do you need reassurance? And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me? It's something like, I feel like, you know when they train Coco the gorilla to know sign language? I feel like the first day that motherfucking gorilla did sign language back, they were probably like, what the fuck? That's exactly how it feels to date a psychiatrist as a female. It's not good. It's scary, he's a witch. Yeah, it is nice to date somebody smart. I just want him to practice old-timey medicine on me. You know, like, write me some Klonopin in the script for vacuuming. I don't want to work anymore. I just want a martini and some benzos. You know? I don't give a shit. Like, I'm like, I'll take a bruised rib over ever having to do a fucking expense report ever again. I don't know what the fuck we were thinking, you know? Like, just bring me back to that time. My end game is just to have him give me a lobotomy. So I can finally enjoy a Marvel movie. It's been nice, because I got a long line of fucking idiots, so I gotta make this one work, because I gotta tell you, Toby wasn't even the most embarrassing one. I used to date a magician during COVID. Yeah, some of us gained weight during COVID, and some of us fucked a magician, okay? We all have different experiences. I took the road less traveled. This is true, his name was Magic Mark, thank you very much. Magic Mark is a real person from New Jersey. It's a full-time magician who is way too cocky for being a full-time magician from New Jersey. We matched on Tinder. He was looking at his profile picture. It was him in a red suit holding a deck of cards, and I said, fuck it, for the story. I'm gonna do it for the lore. I'm the clown, I gotta do it for the bit. We matched, and the first thing this guy ever said to me was, hey, just so you know, I'm only looking for something casual. I said, yeah, Mark, I got that from magician. I was like, what'd you think? I called up my dad, I said, found him, Tony. Get ready for the wedding. There's gonna be doves everywhere. We're gonna